Less than 2% of members of Screen Actors Guild make a living as actors. Get your head around that, less than 2%. Hollywood's full of stories. Ryan Reynolds went on 47 auditions before he books Deadpool. 47. He went for 11 years just wandering around Hollywood, the desert of his dream, getting his ass handed to him before he caught a break. Hollywood's full of stories like this. So what do you do about it? Somebody starting out, because it's that freaking competitive. It's been called the most competitive profession on the planet for a reason. Holy shit, really talented, unbelievably gifted people get their asses handed to them at going after this. So what do? You either bitch and moan and complain about it and make the same mistakes everyone else does, or you get mentored. You find somebody that helps you save a tremendous amount of time, energy, money, and heartache, and that's exactly what I want to do for you. My name is Jim Jarrett. I'm your personal private acting coach, and I want to talk today about the biggest mistakes actors make starting out. I love this topic. I teach off this all the time, all over the planet, and it's something that I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 37 freaking years, been making a living as an actor, as a teacher as well, and also as a filmmaker, a producer, a bunch of other things, but primarily, first and foremost, I built my career as an actor. So I can help. I know I can. So let's do it. Let's talk about the biggest mistakes actors make and why they're screwed out of the gate. Now, the first one is probably the best way to share it is with a story first. I'd like to tell you about, I have a student that went down to LA, very, very talented, finishes the training, 2-year program. He doesn't take the business class. I offer a business class at the end of the formal training, which is a badass boot camp. It's basically what I'm going to be doing here with you. But he didn't take it. You know why? Because he wanted to go. He just spent 2 years. He didn't want to wait any longer. Everyone's in his ear going, you're getting too old, you're getting too old, you're getting too old. He's like, fuck it, I'm going. So that's what he does. He goes to LA. And he proceeds to make one of the biggest mistakes actors make in starting out. He arrives in Hollywood, he finds an apartment, he all of a sudden realizes he needs a job, he gets a job, he realizes that job's not enough to pay for the apartment and all of the expenses, so he gets a second job. It's 2 years later, he hasn't been on a frickin' audition, he doesn't have an agent, he has no career, but he's living in Hollywood drowning. Why? Because he didn't pack smart for his dream. Mistake number one. Pack smart. You're trying to scale Mount Everest. Do not show up wearing backpack and flip-flops. You need at least 10 grand and no debt to show up in that frickin' town. You gotta be smart. Set the frickin' table. And that leads to the second biggest mistake. It's a tie. It's a tie. Ready? Here it is. This is probably the most common one. Right now, a plane just landed in Hollywood, packed, full of people, day one of their dream. Last night was a going away party in Paducah, Kentucky and Texas, and everyone at that party is going, you're amazing, you got it, and you're gonna be a big star. You were in some local play and you were fabulous. You went on your first audition, you booked the job, and wow, and you know, you've had a lot of success, Big fish, small pond, big success too. Or little success, but enough to make you go, hell, I wanna go do this. You show up on that airplane, and as that airplane landed, a plane is taken off, packed, full of people who have gotten their asses handed to them for this exact same reason that I'm about to share with you. They never stood a chance. Why? Because they're trying to get by on natural ability. Hollywood's full of this, these stories. People who they'll take a class, they'll take a workshop, they'll take an intensive. It's like they're trying to build the rocket ship while they're going to the moon. They launch. They move to Hollywood or wherever, and then they take a class, and then they get headshots and spend a bunch of money, and then they start going to audition, and they get bad feedback, so they take another class and a workshop, and they just keep trying to patchwork the rocket ship on the way to the moon. I'm not telling you to take 2 years off and study with me or somebody like me, but our people leave here frickin' ready to go. Elite. They have world-class training. It's been called the most competitive profession on the planet for a reason. Holy hell, you're trying to sail across this ocean called almost impossible. Our people leave my studio ready to compete at the highest level opposite anyone, and they're just begun. But that's what world-class training will do. They've sacrificed the short term for the big picture. They're in it for the long haul big picture. So they have made the investment. They have tremendous respect for their dream and how competitive it is. And there it is. That's one of the biggest mistakes people starting out. They just have no freaking clue how competitive it is. That the world's brightest and sparkliest are also on that airplane next to you. Day one of their dream. Positive that they're going to be big stars, etc. So Hollywood's full of really, really gorgeous people. who ain't working. Hollywood's full of really gorgeous people, well-trained, who ain't working. But I put my money on those than over those any day. So you need craft. And the more craft you have, the more, that has to make sense. You actually can become an actor, like instead of just winging it and getting by on natural ability. And that leads to the biggest mistake. The biggest one, hands down, another beautifully talented, well-trained graduate of mine went to Hollywood about 5 years ago. He got out of debt, he saved a shit ton of money, he had world-class training, he made that investment. He started working here in the Bay Area. It's not the major leagues, it's more like AAA in terms for actors. There's a lot of commercial work, there's independent, a lot of wonderful filmmakers come out of the Bay Area, so he's working, he's kicking ass, doing great, he was. And it was time for him to go. And this is the one area that I stressed with him, but he didn't pay attention to. You have to be so mentally tough to do this. I'm not talking about handling the rejection. You gotta be so mentally, emotionally tough to go after and become a working actor. Not an actor, I don't want you to be an actor, I want you to be a working actor. Most actors are horrible. Here, not just actors, artists, musicians, painters, even professionals. I know doctors and lawyers have told me this. They're bad at this as well. Because that's what you really need to understand. You are president of your dream. You're the talent, you're the therapist, you're everything, man. You gotta be elite at the business of your dream, the business of being an artist, the business of being an actor. There's a lot of people out in the internet offering up all kinds of advice for you. I know that, and that's wonderful. And I'm sure I know they're all, most all anyway, are well-intentioned. What I know I give to you is, I've been doing this for 37 years, since 1987. It's 2024 right now. I have been making my living at my dream for 37 years. Started at 29, no training, no experience, no nothing. And here I am 37 years later. I wouldn't trade my career with any actor alive. Why? For all the things I've talked about. I am mentally tough. I have my shit together. I've been working on me from day one, and it's a daily job. I pack smart for my dream. I got world-class training, and I'm really elite at the business of my art and the business of my dream. And look, there's a lot of other help here, so you know where to do, click, whatever, you know where to go. Do that, check it out, because I got a bunch of other things about auditioning and all kinds of things to help you navigate this, do it in a more graceful way. Okay? See you soon.